Good morning, Unity. Rise and shine. Join me in our beautiful opening number. Here we are in this room, knowing we are one. Together we will always be messengers of love. Wherever we go in peace. Wherever we go in love. Wherever we go, we're one. Wherever we go in peace. Wherever we go in love. Wherever we go, there's a love.
Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Syracuse. We are so glad that all of you are here this morning. And I am Anne, your platform assistant for today. We welcome not just all of you that I'm looking at visibly, we also welcome everyone that is listening in on live stream. May we all enjoy and receive from this service. Let's open with the reading of today's daily word. I embrace change with poise and flexibility. Life is filled with unexpected changes that present new challenges. My ability to gracefully adapt to life's twists and turns hinges on my firm connection to Spirit. With divine wisdom as my ever-present internal guide, I recognize that I can never be truly lost or permanently stuck, even if it might sometimes feel that way. I embrace all unknowns with poise, adjusting effortlessly to every new circumstance. I might be facing the most unforeseen obstacles or seemingly disruptive detours, such as a divorce, a loss of job, or a medical diagnosis. Whatever the changing and challenging circumstance, I do not become fearful or rigid. Aligned with Spirit, I stay open-hearted, flexible, and calm. My life is always supported by perfect love. And the reading from Scripture, Psalm 119. Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. And so it is. You know, in the last couple of weeks, we had a board meeting. And at every board meeting, we have the first 15 or 20 minutes where we have some spiritual development. So we take time to pray and to reflect and to grow. And this last meeting in April, one of our board members, Ed, he gave the enrichment, and his topic was change. And here we are reading from Scripture, life is filled with unexpected changes. So I would offer you the suggestion, perhaps at some point, to have a little chat with Ed, because one of the things he talked about was keep your change. You know how often people say, oh, you know, here's your change, or keep your change. And he put a whole new perspective on that. So it's just something I'm going to kind of, you know, whet the appetite for you to maybe seek him out and see what he says. And the other thought I had was just recently, I was reading, and the quote was, we are picky about what car we drive. We are picky about what clothes we wear. We are picky about what food we eat. The question, are we picky about the thoughts we think? Wow. So, It's these thoughts that we have to embrace, our thoughts, and they can change everything. So we give thanks for the changes that are going on in our life, good and bad. We give thanks for all that we will learn from them, the adventure we will have, the ability to look back and say, gosh, everything really was well. Didn't know it at the time, but it was. And we give thanks for the wonderful message that we're going to be receiving today from Patsy that is only going to deepen all of those thoughts about change. And so now we move to the time for our children to attend the youth and family ministry. So are there any children today? Please meet your teacher downstairs at the back of the church, and we're going to sing a children's blessing. And we also are going to bless Reverend Edith as she goes with them to give her wonderful attention.
We love you, we bless you, we truly, truly appreciate you. We behold the Christ in you.
Okay, so now we're in the midst of trying something different. I don't know if you noticed last week or the week before. We are trying to, instead of moving around the church and saying hello to everyone, we're just moving to look at the people and to greet the people right around us in the pews. And we're acknowledging that as we look at the people right next to us, we are embracing the sacred space throughout the church. And so it's just as we may be namaste or a handshake or a hug, that we do this just within our circle right around us, and it just expands to the whole church and to all the people in the live stream. So as we stand, may we greet our statement of being. God is all, both visible and invisible. One essence, one mind, one flower is all. Visible is all, is perfect love, and perfect substance. I am an individualized expression of God. I am one with His perfect love, and perfect substance. And now,
All right, while you're standing, let's do this beautiful song by David Alt, another minister in their unity movement. You are a work of art, a brilliant light for all to see, perfect in every part, heaven and earth in harmony. The beauty of your face reveals a life of grace. You are a work of art, a masterpiece. I am a work of art, a brilliant light for all to see, perfect in every part, heaven and earth in harmony. The beauty of my face reveals a life of grace. You are a work of art, a masterpiece. We are a work of art, a brilliant light for all to see, perfect in every part, heaven and earth in harmony. The beauty of our face reveals a life of grace. We are a work of art, a masterpiece. We are a work of art, a masterpiece.
And now, please check out the bulletin for all that is going on, and I'm just going to highlight a few. First of all, please sign up today if you are interested in attending the prayer chaplain training, May 4th to the 6th. It's a wonderful opportunity to grow in our awareness of praying ourselves and praying with others. Next Sunday is the Mountain Goat Run in Syracuse, so please allow extra time to get to service. The routes are posted on the bulletin board by the Green Room and on the event calendar on our website. The board has a letter for active members, so please pick it up in the back of the sanctuary. Weekly discussion group, Sundays beginning May 7th from 9:50 to 10:50 a.m. in the Fellowship Hall. This is an ongoing discussion group for everyone led by Ken Walling. And now I would like to welcome our guests. Is there anyone visiting us for the second or third time, or who has not been here in quite a while? Okay. Is there anyone visiting us for the first time? We invite everybody to come downstairs, all of us, old, new, whatever, however we want to see ourselves. Okay. On the screen, you can see our 5 basic unity principles, and these are the basic tenets of our unity way of living. Are there 2 of you who have seen one of them demonstrated in your life last week? Please keep your share to 1 or 2 minutes. Go for it.
There we go. All right. So, I was working on a riding mower, trying to get it fixed, and called around, found a place that would be able to work on it. Had a tire, battery was bad. I put stuff in, and then I find out they're out of batteries, and they don't have a tube for my tire, so it's kind of a wasted trip. So, what my way of thinking was to not to have it, bring me down, and to seek out other possibilities. And I decided, I know I can get a battery at this other place, so I'm just going to go there. And while I was there and they were pulling the battery for me, I decided to look around and found an inner tube on the shelf for the tire, and I was like, I chose my way of thinking. I was picky about my way of thinking. and I wasn't satisfied with the first result, so, I didn't give up. So,
Good.
that's it.
Nice.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Actually, it speaks to all 5 of the basic principles. This week we lost a longtime member of the community, Ruth O'Keefe, and I was her prayer chaplain, so I had the opportunity to go to the hospital on the last day, and wherever needed had been going all week, but I knew that I, was going to get there, and I had decided that I would go on Friday, but on Wednesday, Reverend Eden said, well, I think you should go today. So I did, and we went, and we held space with her, and prayed with her, and you could see the change in her breathing, and knowing that we were there, and the comfort, because it truly is true that as people are transitioning, they know they're there. They know that people are holding space for them. And so for this community at large, it was really a peaceful thing. And I have to say how grateful that I am to be a prayer chaplain. And we also had the opportunity that same night to visit another person who is in hospital. Same hospital, they did that very conveniently. And again, it's someone that, again, all of these principles, to be able to sit and hold space with people when they're facing challenges, but also to hold space with people when you're not facing challenges. You know, for me, it has truly been a blessing to be that, and then to follow them up on Saturday with calls to all of the people who are on my list for wellness calls. I just want to say that it has truly enriched my life. It has enriched my life spiritually. It has enriched my life lovingly, and it has really, really created a powerful place for me to be part of this prayerful community. So I try every day to live the 5 principles. Not always successful, I don't think any of us are, but you know, I really do strive to that, and I just want to say thank you, all of you, for giving me the honor to be a prayer chaplain.
Thank you. That was a wonderful lead-in to our prayer portion of the service. Will the prayer chaplain serving today please stand? And every Sunday, we have a silent time of meditation from 10:30 to 10:45. And from 10:45 to 10:55, prayer chaplains are available to pray with you and again after service. At this time, we bless all prayer intentions or requests. And so we ask that you would bring the box forward, the prayer box forward. And we remember that unity was founded on prayer. And that silent unity prayer has been continuous for over 125 years. If you have not yet placed your written prayer request in our prayer box, you can do so at the end of the service, or you can pray silently with us during this time. Prayer intentions are held in prayer in confidence here for 30 days. In other words, we do not look at them. And then we mail them to Silent Unity, where they are held in prayer for an additional 30 days.
It is with true blessing, it is with true hearts, it is with true love that we say each and every prayer in this prayer box, and those that are on our hearts will just be led to wherever it is that they need to be. Because it is given and it is written that what you pray for will come. And so even if it doesn't come in the manner in which we thought it was supposed to, we know that it is good and right and as it should be. So as we hold each and every prayer intention in each and every person in this room and in cyberspace and those who wish that they were here, we know that you are truly, truly blessed, that we are divine beings, and it is whole, it is well, and that we stand in love. Amen.
I invite you now to join us in our moment of meditation, the prayer portion of this service. I invite you to close your eyes, or if you're not comfortable closing your eyes, focus on one spot in the room. For we all know there is no spot where God is not. Bring your attention gently to your breath. Inhale and let it all out. Watch your breath. And allow your exhalation to take your awareness to the center of your heart, that center of love, the place within us in which we feel our union with all that is holy, with all that is good, with all that is love. Rest here in your heart center for a moment. Allow your body to relax and be still. Allow your mind to be silent. Just be present to this sacred moment. And from the energy of love that is within your heart, follow your breath as it moves this love like a warm inner shower through every cell of your body, healing you, making you whole, uniting every cell in your body in love. And as you breathe, allow this love to move outward to the person sitting next to you, to the person in front of you, to the person behind you, and especially to the person within you. See your love expanding. For love, truly given, always expands. See it filling the sanctuary, filling the homes and the hearts of all who watch us in Cyberland. Moving outward to our local and our international communities, encompassing everything, everyone, everywhere. Imagine it moving outward further still to our community in the cosmos. Imagine that you're looking at a night sky, dark, yet filled with the sparkle of the stars, just as all darkness is filled with light. Imagine yourself floating among these stars, part of the cosmos, part of all that is. Rest here among the stars. Just float around and be one with all of it. Go back to your breath, and with each inhalation, know that you're slowly returning to your body, but the stars are moving with you, and they seem to be moving within you, toward you, filling you. And the world, our beautiful planet, bursting with springtime and new life, is moving within you also. We are in the world, and it is within us. We are in the cosmos, and it too is within us. Go deeper. know that all that is, you are a part of. You are within all that is. And everything that is within you. Rest in the vastness of the universe in which we live and which lives within you. Rest in silence, rest in stillness, and hear that still small voice that is the voice of God, that is the voice of your heart, the voice of love. I invite you now to return your awareness to your breath and allow your attention to return to this room. Feeling the love for all that you are within, for all that is within you. For this love is who you are. And as you are comfortable, open your eyes.
You are heard, you are loved for who you are enough, you are complete, you are loved, you are loved. You are loved. You are seen, you are heard, you are loved for who you are. You are enough, you are complete. You are love, you are love. To yourself, I am seen, I am heard, I am loved for who I am. I am enough, I am complete. I am loved, I am loved. I am loved. I am loved. Sing that with me. I am seen. I am seen. I'm heard. I am heard. I am loved. I am loved for who I am. I am enough. I am enough. I am complete. I am loved. I am loved. I am loved. I am loved. Let's do that again. I am seen. I am seen, heard. I am heard. I am loved for who I am. I am enough. I am complete. I am loved. I am loved. I am loved. I can bet everybody in here does not say that enough to themselves. Need to say that every day. Again. I am seen, I am heard, I am loved for who I am. I am enough, I am complete. I am loved. Sing it proud and strong. I am loved. I am loved. One more time. Let's sing it. I am seen. I am heard. I am loved for who I am. I am enough. I am complete. You are loved. I am loved. I am loved. I am loved. I am seen. I am heard. I am safe. I am enough. I am worthy. I am loved. I am loved.
Thank you, Mark, for that wonderful, wonderful, wonderful music. It could not have been more perfect for what I'm going to talk about. And it wasn't planned, at least not in the conscious world it wasn't planned, but it's perfect. So, I want to open with sort of another meditation. I want to read to you a psalm, a poem psalm by Father Edward Hayes, who was a minister who started an ashram, and it was called Shantivanam, and the ashram still exists, and it's called the Psalm of the Holy Eraser, because I'd like you to erase everything that's worrying you right now, everything that is bothering you, and just be present here now. O Holy One who is everywhere, make me a holy eraser, removing the old dividing lines of sacred and secular. For blessed are those who erase the artificial boundaries that divide life. Correct my biased bifocal vision, seeing the body as separate, as set apart from the temporal world, from the fabric of daily life. For blessed are the eyes that see all as good and holy, and fully saturated with you, daily empowered as your holy eraser. May I boldly wipe out all of religion's confining graffiti, those sharp sanctuary lines that make the spiritual and practical as different as earth is from sea. For there is no difference, it is all one. So, anyway, I just wanted to let you know, all those here and all those out in Cyberland, that if you thought when you saw my title, Love the One You're With, that I was going to talk about it in the sense of that old song, I'm not. So be assured, that may be more fun, but what I'm saying is a little bit more fundamental. So, about 25 years ago, after we moved out to the country, I was driving home from here, from a class that I took here, a night class. And it was probably about 9:30 at night, and it was really, really late. And those of you who have been to my house know that you go through all these winding roads until you think you've gone to the other end of nowhere, and then you still have to go further. So anyway, I'm driving down this road that I didn't know, through cornfields that have grown up. I can't see anything around me except cornfields. And I'm thinking, what on earth am I doing out here in the middle of cornfields all alone? And all of a sudden, I felt like angel wings were enfolding me. And I heard a voice that said, "You are never alone." We are never alone. We are always with all that is, something, somewhere. We are always with love. Now, Mark Nepo is one of my favorite philosophers, and I quote him often, and those of you who follow my thoughts for the day know that I quote him a lot. He says this about love: only by living it can love show itself as the greatest principle. Bring what lives within into accord with how we meet our days. What lives within is love. How we meet the days is how we love what we're with. So, I want to first be clear about what I mean when I say love the one you're with. Because we can't love anything unless we know what it is. So, as I've lived through this lesson, and I say as I've lived through this lesson because at the beginning of the month when Reverend Edith first asked me if I would do the service today, she said, "Okay, what's your title?" And we know that, people in Cyberland may not know this, but we know that the power of the month is love. And so I just said to her, just because she was going to pester me forever if I didn't, I said, "Okay, my title is Love the One You're With." And she said, "Okay, I can work with that." So I've been saying, okay, what on earth did I mean by that? And when we begin to think about a lesson, we begin to live it, right? So as I've lived into this, I've had moments when, for example, I've looked in the mirror first thing in the morning and I have definitely not loved what I've seen there, right? Has that ever happened to anybody else? Yeah, And there are times when I've grumbled very unlovingly about, well, a whole lot of things. So I started to ask myself, can we be love? And can we love even when we're finding things that we don't love? And that's a very deep question. That's a question to ponder, maybe a life question. But the ultimate answer that we will learn is yes. Of course, yes is the ultimate answer to everything. But still, what we are doesn't, like Mark Nepo suggests, always show up in our days or in our behavior. The fact that we're told that we are love, and we are of the heart, as Mark sang, doesn't mean that we are going to express love at all times in all that we do. We should, but we're all works in progress. We are all expressions of God, but we are not yet completed expressions of God. We're humans, actually we're spiritual beings having a human experience, having a spiritual experience, having a human experience, and I could go on all day about that, but as human beings, on our human side, we're pulled between the earthly and the divine. We know that we have this sacredness within us, and we know that we have this body that walks through the real world and it pulls us in different ways. And even though we may be made of condensed love and we may be made of condensed light, we have to work our way into bringing this love and light into everything that we do in the world. And this may well be the primary work that we do in our lifetime. Bringing this love within into our lives. So I'll tell you a story about me. Most of you know that I grew up with a mystical Catholic mother and a Methodist father who believed that he could find God better when he was fishing on a Sunday morning than in his brother-in-law's church. So I grew up with a kind of an open-hearted feeling toward religion and spirituality. So pretty early on in my life, in my early 20s, in the arrogance of being 20, I decided that, okay, since I was a spiritual being, I must have this major goal in life, this major mystical goal, right? So I would go into meditation and I would ask, what am I to do? And I heard, give only love. So I finished the meditation and the ego part of me started saying, that's not enough. That's not going to cut it. That's not anything major. So I would do another meditation the next day, and what is my mission in life? Give only love. Well, finally I gave up, literally, moved upward to a knowing that, yeah, maybe that was, maybe that is, maybe that always will be my mission in life, to give only love. A Course in Miracles tells us that there is only love, and that fear is its opposite, and fear doesn't exist. But I don't fail to bring my inner love into how I meet my days because of fear, because I tend not to be afraid. I fail, and I don't know about you, but I fail because I forget. My human side lets me forget who I am, and I start acting from my personality and my preferences rather than from my sacred essence. Does that happen to anybody else here? Okay, all right, good, I'm glad. I'm glad I'm not the only one. So I want to talk about all this stuff that we bring into this fact that we're never alone. We are always one, and our essence is love. And so what are we with that we need to love? Okay, so there's one essence that we are always with, and that is with us always. Ernest Holmes defines it this way, and I quote, "Spirit is right where you are. It is the very essence of your being. It is at the center as well as the circumference of your life." The light of God surrounds us, the light of God fills us, the light of God is us. Whether it's expressing as another person or as nature or as your thoughts, that's what you're always with. This essence that is our circumference and our essence. Love. Divinity, holiness. Okay, so this kind of oneness, if we're talking about loving that, it isn't hard. It's really easy when we're concentrating on this to love this oneness that we're with. But, and this is a big but, oneness is made up of a lot of diverse elements. And a diversity exists within each of us. I mean, I don't look like you, don't look like me, don't look like you, don't look like anybody out in cyberland, and even my daughter doesn't look like me. So, you know, there's this diversity among and within all of us. And we need to love it all. Jesus said, "Love your neighbor as yourself." And I think most people tend to interpret this as meaning love your neighbor. I take it a little bit differently. I take it to mean you've got to love yourself and take that self-love that is within you. I don't mean ego love. I mean love of the I am self within you. And bring it out and see that your neighbor is the same as you and love that part of your neighbor. So, we are part of this diversity within the oneness. Even within ourselves, like within each of us, there's a me, there's a myself, and there's an I, me, myself, and I. Charles Fillmore calls our me-self personality. And this is the part of our lives that interacts with the world, our me. It's our me that goes out into the world and literally walks a path. We live mostly in the body. It's my me-self that looks in the mirror every morning and goes, "Ugh." Sometimes my me lives in my monkey mind, and my thoughts are going every which way. I remember one day a couple of years ago, I was thinking, I was really annoyed with my husband for some reason, and I was thinking all kinds of annoying thoughts about him, but at the same time, I always have music going through my head when I wake up in the morning. And I realized that as I was annoyed with him, the song that was going on in my mind was, "Oh, what a beautiful morning." I mean, I don't know if I'm talking about diversity or mild insanity, but, you know, we have to be aware of that higher part that's going on behind our personality. It's an example of the fact that there was some essence there that was saying, "This is a beautiful day," even as my me, my ego, was saying, "He shouldn't have left his dishes on the counter." Whenever we get into trouble in the world, it's our me, and we usually blame somebody else. So it's not necessarily the best part of our diversity or our oneness. But then there's our self, and this is the soul self, the place where we can hear the voice of spirit, hear the still small voice, come up with ideas, create. And then there's that highest part of ourselves, the I am, which is the oneness. It is spirit. It is that essence that is our inner self and our circumference. Spirit, God within. When we go within, that's who we go with and where we go and who is with us or what is with us. And we need to love all of this that from the human side feels like a mishmash of stuff, but from the divine side, I mean, think of it. There is a oneness among us that is exhibited in the smallest ways and we don't notice it. For example, I give you Mark and the music again. Mark said to me last week, okay, so what are you talking about? What do you want me to do? And I said, look, I'm talking about love, and you do whatever you want, and it'll be perfect. There was a connection, an overarching something, where he came up with exactly what this lesson needed as music. It happens all the time. So I've learned that if I'm going to live in the oneness of who I am with all its diversity, I live best there if I allow my I am and myself to be the overseers of my me. Try it. It's not easy, but it works. So I want to just take a moment and share a poem with you that is relevant. It's by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. And here's how it goes. Earth's crammed with heaven, and every common bush is afire with God. But only he who takes off his shoes sees. The rest sit around and pick blackberries. Now, this poem encapsulates our entire human nature, and there's nothing wrong with blackberries, they're holy. But the I am of ourselves represents the earth that is drenched with heaven, the heaven that is drenching earth. With our higher selves, we take off our shoes and we honor the fact that every step we take is a step taken on holy ground. And it's our me that sits around and picks blackberries or reads our telephone or texts somebody or talks about somebody or has a glass of wine or whatever it is that takes our mind off of the fact that heaven is drenching everything around us. There's a sheen of divineness around everything. So we need to unite these selves so that as we live in the world of the blackberries, which we do, this is the physical world, we live here, we're still going to be living in the holiness of heaven that's drenching the earth. And we may not take off our shoes, especially not in this area in the wintertime. We don't take off our shoes. But we do recognize the holiness of the ground on which we walk. When we do this, and we do it with awareness, it is very easy to love the one we're with, because we're with all that is. Okay. So as I lived more and more and more into this lesson, and I got to feeling this more and more deeply, another realization came to me, and that is, okay, well, there are a whole lot of things that I don't like right now. Do I have to love them? We can love the oneness that we're with, even when we don't like it. For example, I do not always like myself. I don't like what my me chooses to do all the time. And if I look at myself honestly, I see that not everything that I do is positive. Now, I put my best face forward on Facebook. So those people who are watching in Cyberland and know me only through Facebook, you probably think I'm positive all the time. Well, just ask my family if you think I'm positive all the time. The quirky me often takes over from my I am or my higher self. And I find myself a little bit less than likable. I don't really like myself when I do certain things. And I think it's true of all of us. But I still love myself. Because I know that my essence is love. A religious science minister whose name is Reverend Dr. Michael Gott writes this: there is more to you than you can understand or explain. You are vast. You are infinite. There is wisdom in your deepest depths, and you can trust it. You can love it too, even when you don't like it. Even when you don't like it. Loving the one you're with implies not only loving this divine oneness that I can talk about, and that's all very well and good, but we also meet human circumstances. And they're part of our life. Human circumstance that I don't like is I don't really like aging, okay? I mean, I like the wisdom that comes with it. I wish I could have the wisdom that I have at this age with the body that I had when I was in my 20s, but it ain't gonna happen. So, I don't like aging, and I don't like looking in the mirror and seeing a new wrinkle showing up. And you know what? When I begin to look at this from a different perspective, it brings me a sense of compassion. It brings me a sense of another kind of wholeness, because there's a totality to my life. It isn't just the youthful energy, but is also something that is human, and something that is divine, and something that is eternal. So aging is actually really a way to live into the idea of eternally. Think about it. I don't always like the world as it evolves politically with wars, and it doesn't make any difference of what political party you are. I personally don't like the fact that we have political fighting instead of agreeing and compromising, because we are all one, no matter what party we call ourselves. I don't like the darkness this brings. But when I talk about darkness and not liking it, all I have to do is go out and look at the night sky and see the stars, and I realize that there's light in the darkness, no matter what kind of darkness it is. I'm a great follower of Celtic spirituality, which is very much like Native American spirituality, but it plays a big role in my spiritual life personally. One Celtic minister is a man named John Philip Newell, and he tells us this: God is the life in all of life. It's that heaven that's drenching earth. So, speaking of not necessarily liking what we love, I've got to say that I don't really like the way my life is going now. And I'm going to be really open with you. I do not like the fact that my husband is recovering from a disease that he is recovering very well from and very strongly from. But our lives are different from the way they were a year ago. We don't go out to the same places. He's not doing the business with me anymore. And I find that I'm pretty tired by the end of every day. He is cooperating in whatever way he can, but I don't like the way it is now. So as I lived into this lesson, I started doing something different. I'm a Reiki master. And I started giving him Reiki every morning and doing a guided meditation with the Reiki. Now, when I do Reiki for other people, I don't do out loud guided meditations unless they're requested. But Joe liked them, and you know what? The things that have gone on in the past year in our lives have brought us to a deeper and more profound kind of love than we have ever had before in a multitude of decades. And I really believe that this practice of showing love is one of the things that's healing him. The other thing is his wonderful positive attitude that I'm going to make it through this. And he is, and that doesn't mean that I have to like it, because I don't, but I do love it. I do love it. I love the fact that it has brought us a deeper sense of loving, a deeper way of communicating. He never wanted Reiki before. He was never into guided meditations before. Now he is. And so there is something to love, something holy in every single human circumstance in our lives. Tommy told the story of an automobile problem, right? What was holy, or what's holy about this thing other than the divine is within all things? It's his thoughts. The way he thought about it. That's holiness. That's something to love within something that you don't like. Okay, so now we have a real corker. The thing it's really probably hardest to love, which is other people. You know, we say we love others, we say we love everybody. I tend to say I love you to almost everybody. But there are people who irritate me. I mean, you may not realize that. It may be hard to believe, but there are people who irritate me. And I think I actually irritate people at times myself. I don't understand why, but I think I do. But what I realized in living into this lesson is that what I don't like about other people is the absolutely perfect mirror that I need as a lesson in order to change myself. Because what irritates me about others is what I need to change in myself, otherwise I wouldn't notice it. So, take a deep breath and take a moment and look at the person closest to you and send that person love. Just like we did this morning. Feel the love. moving out from you to the person closest to you. And I can feel the energy in this church expanding. And I hope those of you out there watching our live streaming can feel it expanding as well, because it is. Loving others matters in this world. It matters. I am so happy at the inclusiveness of Pope Francis and the fact that he had the courage and the love to get up and say that one individual is enough for hope to exist, to encourage us to welcome and embrace people of all sorts of diversity. No matter what, no matter who, they are all part of us. The Pope advised us to think deeply, good thoughts, as Anne mentioned. The Pope didn't say the good thoughts, I did. Think deeply, love wisely, and live generously. Love wisely, with wisdom. At Chautauqua a few years ago, I heard Episcopal Bishop John Shelby Spong, and he was expelled from the Episcopal Church because he ordained the first gay bishop. I love him very much because of his courage in diversity. But he said, live fully, love wastefully, and be all that you can be. Can you imagine loving wastefully, just throwing your love out at everything? Because the more you give, the more you have. Can you imagine how wonderful it would feel to be with the one you're with as you give them love? I want to read you a verse from a woman named Tosha Silver from Outrageous Openness that actually Sibby turned me on to her, and I follow her work and I love it. And I'm going to read you not one of her humorous essays, but a poem about wonder, which to me is the same as love. And it speaks to our humanness and to our eternalness. And she says, it's good to know both your specialness and your utter dispensability. Then you can let go and embrace it all. You can play your role in this exquisite, absurd story with complete abandon. You can be a melting snowflake, a drifting leaf, or a nature spirit dancing in a pond. And if you touch any heart with what you do, for the brief moments you are here, that's enough. So I invite you during this week and during this lifetime to give love and to change the world, because we sing at the end of every service, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. And I say to everyone, if there's one peaceful heart in the world, there's peace in the world. How about let us bring love to the world and let it begin with us, because so long as one person is loving anything else, there is love in the world. Change this one gesture at a time, a gesture of love. Change the world by being one nature spirit dancing in a pond or one falling leaf. Take someone you really don't love, or let me not say it that way. Take someone you really don't like and find something to love within them. And then something else. And then something else. Because within every single one of us and every single oneness of us, there is always, always something to love. So let's change the world with our love. Let's love this one world that we're with. And so it is. And so we allow it to be. Namaste. And I think I had, there we go, our affirmation for the week. I am one with all that is and I love it all. Okay? Together. I am one with all that is and I love it all. I am one with all that is and I love it all. Now, because silence is the strongest voice of God, I invite you to put your hands over your heart and say that silently to yourself. And so it really is. Amen. And now it's time for our tithes and offerings. So, I don't have Gandhi statements on my checks, but I know one, and I will read it to you from my mind, not from my check. And it is, be the change you want to see in this world, and I'm going to change that a little bit to be the love you want to see in this world. And so, take your tithes and your offerings in your hands, and if you give on a monthly basis, or if you're giving by pressing our donate button on our Facebook page, you can just hold your hands together, feeling the love that you are, and say with me, now our blessing. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, you are my source.
God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. God is good to me.
And so, let's take our hands and rub them together and feel that energy. That energy is the energy of the earth, it's the energy of love, it's the energy of everything that is. And let's take that energy and give it to these tithes and offerings. Divine Infinite Spirit of love, through us you bless these offerings, these gifts, gifts of presence here, these gifts that are monetary, the gifts that are simply smiles, the gifts that are the love in our heart. They bless us. And we are so grateful for all that we give, all that is given to us and through us, and for all that we are. For we affirm that it is all one and it is all love. And so it is, and so we allow it to be. Amen. We are walking in the light of God. 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 We are walking, we are walking, we are walking in the light of God. We are walking, we are walking, we are walking in the light of God. We are walking in the light of God. Where'd you want this? Walking in the light of God. We are walking in the light of God. So, you all had an older child among you, huh? No, I don't think you're on there.
Now
you
I'm
are.
on. Good morning.
Good morning.
So we were watching it on the television downstairs, live streaming. There's a delay. So we were like, we're hearing music. It wasn't music on TV. Lorraine, there's a delay downstairs. So we apologize. We were ready for a while. But good morning, everybody. I'm so grateful to have been with the YFM today on the 5th Sunday of every month when we have the 5th Sunday. I go up to the Youth and Family Ministry, and we had fun today, right? Do you guys want to share what we did? Who wants to talk? Todrick.
We did this activity where we blew up balloons and then we taped it on the string and then we released the air. And then we talked about like the spirit being our air, that we know it's there, it's a power and a source, and we just can't see it. And it gets us further down the line, which was the string. So.
Did you want to say something about that too? No? Anybody else? You? What else did you say about that when we did the balloon? What's the power of the month for May?
Pink,
No.
purple,
Yes. It's what?
purple.
Purple is the power of the month. And what's the disciple?
Philip.
Philip.
Philip. Philip. And what's the color?
Purple.
What is it?
Purple.
Purple. Purple power Philip. So on the last Sunday of the month, the Youth and Family Ministry always goes to the next month to do the power, so they're ready to give you your little cards on the first Sunday. And so that's what it was all about, is power. That power that is within us, like air, we can't see it, but it moves us forward. And we get to make choices, right? We talked about making choices. Good choices, not so good choices. Kind of like ice cream and vanilla and chocolate. You get to choose, right? Whether you want chocolate or vanilla. So some people wanted one or the other, and some people said, I'll have a swirl. But it doesn't mean that one choice is any better than the other. And yet, there are times when we make not so good choices, and times when we make absolutely fabulous choices, like making these balloons today. We had a great time. Thank you very much for allowing me to be with you guys. You guys rock. Awesome. Yay. And we have a wonderful children's blessing and affirmation. If we can say that together, please. We bless our children wherever they are. See them surrounded by love and light throughout the week. we have a thriving, expanded youth and family ministry. Yay. And the prayer for protection.